I've been called a lot of things in my life. Hillbilly, eyesore, that dirty ranch guy. But nobody ever called me what I actually was. Not until the morning everything blew up. And honestly, that was the whole problem. It started on a Tuesday, hot enough to melt paint off a fence post. I was standing by the corral in my mud-caked boots when a white SUV rolled up like it owned the earth. Out hopped Marla Kessick, president of the Silver Ridge HOA, wearing sunglasses the size of satellite dishes and a smile that looked practiced in a mirror. She didn't walk toward me. She strutted. Like my family's land was a runway, and I was the gum stuck to it. She didn't say hello. She didn't say my name. She just shoved a thick envelope into my chest and hissed, 30 days. You're out. Her spit hit my cheek. Not an accident. She aimed it. I remember the sun glinting on her diamond bracelet while 20 people from her little gated paradise watched in silence. The way folks watch a dog get kicked on the side of the road, pretending they don't see it. I looked down at the envelope like I couldn't read. I let my hands shake. I let my shoulders slump. Ma'am, I said, soft as dust. My family's been here since 1893. Marla laughed. Not a normal laugh. This was a you don't belong in my world laugh. Not anymore, she said. Bulldozers come next month. Silver Ridge Resort is going right here. She tore the notice in half and tossed it at my feet like confetti at a funeral. Start packing, Owen. Unless you want the county sheriff to drag you out. Her lawyer, a skinny guy named Colin Vance, stood behind her like a shadow that had learned to wear a tie. He wouldn't look me in the eye. That was the first flicker of guilt I filed away for later. When they left, my dad stepped out of the barn, wiping his hands on a rag. He was 71, built like old oak, and he'd seen more storms than most folks see sunsets. You shook real good, he said. Almost believed you were scared. I let my face loosen, just a little, then smiled. Give it 30 days, I told him. She's gonna learn what kind of rancher I really am. Because here's what Marla didn't know. The reason I'd been keeping my head down, letting her call my tractor ugly and my chickens public health hazards, wasn't because I was powerless. It was because I needed her to be comfortable. 6 months earlier, I'd gotten a tip through my agency about a development called Silver Ridge Estates. Big money, fast sales, weird boundary disputes buried in paperwork. My job, as a federal land compliance auditor, is basically boring on paper. Until you find someone selling land they don't own. And Silver Ridge wasn't just sketchy. It was sitting on federally protected rangeland. A lot of it. Like most of it. If you want the number, it was 78%. And that made it my jurisdiction. So yeah, I moved back onto my family ranch and did what any reasonable person would do. I played dumb. I wore the same torn flannel till it smelled like sun-baked hay. I practiced squinting at paperwork like it was written in another language. I slowed my speech a little. Let the vowels stretch. Let the silence hang. People like Marla love silence. They fill it with their own arrogance. The next morning, I went to the HOA office in full costume. Overalls with real manure stains. Boots that would make a city person gag. When I walked in, the receptionist sprayed air freshener like I was a biohazard. I pulled out the crumpled notice and said, "Miss, I'm sorry, I don't understand this paper." She smirked. "Which part, sir?" I pointed at a random line. "This word. Violations. Is that like violence? Am I being violent?" Her laugh came out sharp enough to cut glass. "Violations. It means you broke the rules." "Rules." She said it like gravity. I nodded slowly. "Oh, and these. Decibels. My rooster too loud? Can I buy a permit for him? Like at a store?" The receptionist snorted and started typing on her computer. The screen was angled toward me just enough to see the group chat title, Silver Ridge Staff. And her message, "OMG, the ranch idiot is here. Asking if Walmart sells permits LOL." Perfect. Every time she typed, she was handing me witness names. Before she could keep rolling, Marla stormed out from the back offices. "Why aren't you packing?" I switched to panic mode on cue. "I don't know where to go, ma'am. I was born there." She circled me like a shark. "I'll buy you out. 200 grand. I let my eyes pop wide like she'd offered me the moon. 200. Her face lit up. She loved that reaction. "Sign today, I'll do 250. Deadline's 5 o'clock. She slammed a contract down with fingernails that looked like they were designed to hurt people. I picked it up upside down on purpose. "My daddy says read careful like," I muttered. She yanked it upright. "Just sign where it says seller." While she watched me pretend to read, I snapped photos of every page and sent them to my supervisor. The reply came back fast: fraudulent conveyance. She has no title rights. Keep her talking. So I looked up, all worried. Can I take it home? I read slow. Marla waved me off. 5 o'clock. Don't be late. And shower before you come back. On the way out, I turned, like a man struck by a sudden simple thought. If I sell, do the chickens come with the land? Or do I pack him separate? Her eye twitched. I don't care about your diseased birds. They ain't diseased, I said, soft but hurt. They just got personalities. Lucy sings at sunrise. That won't lay unless you compliment her. The receptionist was typing like her life depended on it. Marla's face turned a fun shade of rage purple. Go. Back at the ranch, I opened the hidden safe behind the tool wall. Not something Marla thought a dumb rancher owned. Inside was 6 months of satellite prints, parcel maps, archived deeds, and a fat folder. Marla Kessick, prior cases. She'd pulled this same stunt twice before in different states, always building fast on questionable land, scaring locals into selling cheap, then filing bankruptcy when feds came knocking. But this time she'd gotten greedy. She didn't just want land. She wanted a resort and an HOA to milk fees forever. That paper trail was a gold mine. That night my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Message said, "Stop digging or your father dies tomorrow." I showed Dad. He stared at it, then laughed so hard the porch swing creaked. Means you're close. I screenshot it for evidence and texted back, "Digging? I'm just trying to keep my rooster quiet." No reply. The next day, I went to town and made sure people saw me looking pathetic. Library, hardware store, diner. I held maps upside down in the archive room. I photocopied so much paperwork the librarian sighed. I made sure 2 HOA residents were within earshot when I gasped loud at the federal boundary map. Then I walked up to one of them, a woman I knew from my files. "Ma'am," I said, "you look smart. What does this line mean? It's right over your street." She looked down and went pale. "Where did you get this?" "Public record." "Librarian helped," I said, bright as a kid. "Does this mean the government owns it?" She left like her shoes were on fire, already calling someone. Within an hour, my federal contacts were lighting up. Silver Ridge homeowners were panicking, asking questions, filing complaints. Marla's empire started cracking with one stupid-looking photocopy. That evening, my fence got vandalized. 10 guys in hoodies spray-painted "Eviction coming" across my grandfather's gate. I called 911 sobbing like my world was ending, while my hidden cameras caught every face, every plate. Sheriff Rivas arrived, did his official routine for the body cam, then leaned in low. "You getting all this, Owen?" "Crystal clear," I whispered. "How long till you spring it?" "Soon. I just need her to hang herself on tape." And boy, did she ever. By Friday, Marla had texted me a new offer. For 100,000. Final. I took my time responding. Let her watch the typing bubbles dance. Then I wrote, "That's a lot of zeros. I gotta think." Saturday night, she threw a party. Biggest thing Silver Ridge had ever seen. Investors, champagne, live band, a banner that read "Future Site of Kessick Grand Resort." She was drunk on victory and money. My bartender ally, Tessa, was working the event. She texted me all night. She just promised 30% returns. Got it on video. She's showing fake permits to investors. Close-ups acquired. She's bragging about the ranch loser crying. So around 10, I stumbled into the local bar like a man who'd been stepped on. I cried. Loud. I drank whiskey that was just apple juice, and I made sure 3 HOA board members were within earshot. "Maybe I should sign," I sobbed. "Maybe it's best. I'll paint the tractor. Teach my dog to bark friendly." One of them sounded uncomfortable, but still said, "Decisions made." Marla has full board support. I let that sit on tape. Sunday afternoon, 12 hours before the eviction, Marla rolled onto my ranch with a whole circus. Security guards, a film crew, and a bulldozer parked at my gate like a threat with teeth. She screamed through a megaphone, "Last chance. Sign, or you're out tomorrow." I came out looking like heartbreak on 2 legs. Dirt on my face, shirt torn, slow shuffle, like life had rolled over me. I dropped to my knees. "Please, ma'am. My daddy's sick." I got nowhere. And then she did the stupidest thing I've ever seen a criminal do in public. She slapped me. Hard. Blood split my lip, ran down my chin. Her crew caught it from 3 angles. She wanted my humiliation for marketing, I guess. What she didn't know was my tech team had already tapped their feed. Every second went straight to federal servers. I looked up, trembling, and said, "You win. I'll sign. Just don't hurt my chickens." She laughed like fire breaking out. "Your chickens?" she said. "I'm gonna wring their necks myself. Burn that coop down. Build a parking lot right over him." People behind her shifted awkwardly. Even her fans knew she'd gone too far. But I needed that confession, and she handed it to me gift-wrapped. As her cars pulled away, I stayed in the dirt a few seconds longer, then stood up slow, wiped my mouth, and smiled. Not a broken man smile. A hunter smile. Text from Sheriff Rivas. "We got everything in HD." I replied, "Perfect." At midnight, I stopped acting. I pulled my badge from the safe, ran my thumb over the seal, then hung my best suit on the closet door. Dark charcoal, crisp white shirt, red tie like a warning sign. At 3 a.m., a message from Washington came in. "Operation Morningstar is go. Strike teams in position." I drank coffee and watched the stars fade. Somewhere nearby, Marla slept easy, dreaming about her resort. She thought Monday would be her coronation. She was right about one thing. Monday was history. 7:45 a.m., a crowd gathered by my gate like it was a parade. News trucks, residents, deputies, even the bulldozer operator revving up. Marla stood on a platform with her megaphone, basking in the attention. "In 15 minutes, she shouted, "we remove the last eyesore. By Christmas, you'll be dining at a 5-star restaurant right here." The crowd cheered. A countdown even started. At 7:55, 5 black SUVs appeared on the horizon, moving like they practiced. The cheering died in confusion. Marla squinted. "Who the hell is that?" The lead SUV stopped in front of her stage. Door opened. Polished shoes hit the dirt, then a suit stepped out, then me. Clean-shaven, hair slicked back, sunglasses on, not a speck of mud. For 3 long seconds, Marla's mouth opened and closed like a fish realizing the water's gone. I took off my shades slow. "Morning, folks," I said, calm as sunrise. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic from the field office was rough." Then I pulled out my badge and held it high. Owen Carter, Senior Federal Land Compliance Auditor, Bureau of Range and Resources. 20 federal agents stepped out behind me, badges visible, weapons holstered. The leader walked up to Marla. "Marla Kessick," he said, "you are under arrest for federal land fraud, extortion, assault, conspiracy, and a list will finish at headquarters." The crowd exploded. People shouting, crying, cursing. I walked to her big presentation screen, plugged in my laptop, and the first satellite map popped up, red boundaries screaming the truth. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, "I hate to be the one to tell you, but most of this development was built on protected federal land. Land Marla Kessick had zero right to sell." Gasps rippled. Somebody fainted. Marla tried to run, but agents already had her. Evidence rolled across the screen. Her slap, her threats, fake permits, financial trails, prior scams, the vandalism, the death threat text, the assault setup she ordered. Her voice, on tape. "My lawyers verified it's legal. I'll burn your coop down. I'll make your life hell." Colin Vance, her lawyer, stepped forward looking like a man who'd just survived a hurricane. "I want to testify," he said to the agents. "I have emails. Records." She threatened me. He looked at the crowd. "I'm sorry. I should have spoken up sooner." I nodded once. "Thank you, Colin." Then I faced the residents. "You're victims, not criminals. No one's losing their home. We're working with the Justice Department to rezone and legalize your lots. Symbolic fee. $1 per household. That's it." The relief that swept through them was like air rushing back into lungs. As they shoved Marla into the SUV, she screamed, "You tricked me. You pretended to be stupid." I stepped closer, not angry, just steady. "I never lied to you," I said. "I am a rancher. I do have chickens. My tractor really is ugly." Her eyes burned with hate. But she couldn't argue a thing I hadn't technically said. When the convoy pulled away, Dad walked up beside me in his Sunday suit, totally fine. He leaned in and said, "Your mother would have loved that." I thought it was over. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. A low voice said, "Kessick was small time. You just stepped on something bigger. You got no idea what you opened." Click. I stared at the screen a second too long. Dad noticed. "What's that look?" I forced a smile. "Just somebody mad their cash cow got arrested." But my stomach didn't buy the lie. Because here's the truth. People like Marla don't work alone. And scams like that don't happen without bigger hands pulling strings in the dark. Judges, developers, politicians. Sometimes the whole board is rotten. So yeah, we won that day. The ranch is still here. The chickens still scream at sunrise. The ugly tractor still runs strong. But I'm telling you right now, the war wasn't just about my land. It was about the way people look at someone with dirt under their nails and decide that means they're worth less. Decide they're dumb. Decide they're easy to crush. And if you've ever been on the wrong end of that kind of assumption, you know how satisfying it feels when the boot slips. So let me ask you something. Was what I did justice? Or was it deception? If you were one of those homeowners, would you feel grateful or furious? And what about Marla? Do people like her deserve second chances or hard consequences? Drop your take in the comments. I read them. I really do. And if you've ever watched someone get judged by their clothes, their accent, their job, their background, tell that story too. Because the only way that kind of prejudice dies is if we drag it into the light. Hit like if you want more real-life underdog stories. Subscribe if you're riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.